try to recall the plot of Blazblue Calamity Trigger. When you really think about it, the story is not super difficult to understand if you only follow Ragna. So I'm gonna try my best, but I'm gonna go through only Calamity Trigger, and I'm gonna see if I can remember everyone's story. Okay, here we go. So, 100 years ago, fucking Genova appeared.
That was fast.
Genova appears and destroys the world, basically. And then, these, 6 heroes show up, and they fight the Dark Beast, or the Black Beast is what Genova is called in this one. And I guess they kill it, and then the world, however, gets radiated with, Black Beast fallout called Sather. There's, a miasma all over the world, so they have to build cities on top of mountains and shit, and those are called hierarchical cities. Now, this is gonna get really confusing for me later on, because Blazblue has a really bad habit of throwing a whole vocabulary of bullshit in-game terms. So in order to establish order in the world, they created Artmagus, and that's basically magic, but not really. One of the 6 heroes had magic, and her name was the Great Sage 9. But then, in order to create weapons to fight the Black Beast, they made Nox Nitoruses. Is that right?
Consult my timeline.
If I can get the lore right, I can get everything that happens in Calamity Trigger just fine. 9 builds the Artmaguses and the Noxes. No, hold on. The Noxes are basically special magical weapons. Artmagus is a science version of magic.
Yes.
Which is a little different from actual magic, which will come into play later. And then the ones who control all of the Artmaguses is the library. I mean the Novus Orvis Librarian. What? Help me out here.
The Novus Orbis Librarian.
Okay, I was close. Is that all of the backstory? I think
it's not all of it.
It's not okay. It's not
way
all.
More.
It's the bare basics of the backstory.
I think we're now ready to start Calamity.
Okay. So, in one of the hierarchical cities, Akitsu gets blown up by Space Genova.
Okay.
There's a Genova satellite in the sky that just blew up Akitsu during the Ikaruga Civil War, and that ended the Civil War. And some reason Jin was hold on.
Why were they in the Civil War?
Fuck, I'm making this way too confusing for myself. I'm gonna keep going, hold on.
We're not at Calamity Trigger yet, by the way.
No, I'm not! Shut up! Why are they in the Civil War? Because they want to break off from the library?
Correct.
Okay, because the library said, hey, you have all these books overdue. And they're like, no, I'm keeping these books. But anyways, that explodes, and at that point, there's a girl that appears from a sword, and she becomes an orphan, and gets... Oh, fuck. No. Now I gotta go back to Ragna, I think. So the main character, Ragna the Blood Edge, he's a super criminal. And he's going around to each library bases, and he's destroying them for reasons that are not explained until Central Fiction. Maybe in Chrono Phantasma or something.
Yeah.
But so he's going around, and the reason why he's doing this is because in the past, he was an orphan who lived in a church with a nun and his 2 siblings, Jin and Saya. And then one day he got home, and Jin kills everybody because he got hold of a cool sword, and then he became the edgelord, and Ragnar's all like, no, I can be a bigger edgelord. I'm gonna name myself Blood Edge. So then he gets his arm cut off, and then the church burns down, and then he gets saved by a cat man named Jubei. And then he goes under Jubei's tutelage. Or no, Jubei gives him the titular Blazblue, which is supposed to be a grimoire that can access the Azure.
Does Jubei give him that?
No, Rachel does. No, Rachel doesn't do that. Wait, hold on. Did Rachel bite him to make him turn into a vampire? That's a thing, right? That's why one of his eyes is red. I should probably explain who Rachel is.
You should. We're not even Calamity Trigger yet, guys.
Fuck!
We're gonna get there soon.
Fuck! Okay, so Rachel is a vampire, and she's the heiress to the Alucard family, who exist outside reality, and they're basically watching over the world, and that's what I'm just gonna say for now. And Rachel seems to have taken a liking to Ragnar because reasons.
Reasons? She only ever has one reason.
Oh yeah, because she wants to.
She's bored.
She's bored and she wants. I will explain that in a minute. Okay. All right. So Rachel and Jubei give him the Blazblue. Because the Blazblue doesn't have a single definite form, it becomes Ragna's arm. And that's why the library wants him, because no, that book's ours.
Speaking of books, you know the Blazblue goes by a different name that makes a bit more sense, right?
The Azure Grimoire.
There we go.
Okay. Alright, actually, that's right. The Azure Grimoire and the Blazblue are actually two different fucking things! Alright. Okay, so that's why Ragna's going around destroying cities. As for why Jin wants to kill Ragna, he was possessed by a ghost that told him to kill Ragna, and then after that he gets adopted into one of the super high level, royal families called the Duodecim. He goes into the Kisaragi family, who basically just hire skilled people, and because he had a katana, they're like, that kid's a badass. We want him. And then he goes into the NOL training academy and has high school adventures with Noelle Vermillion, who is the third protagonist, who also happens to be that one girl who was born from the sword.
Okay, keep going.
And he hates Noelle because she reminds him of his dead sister, Saya, which is true and also not true at the same time.
Keep going. Don't stop for that one.
So yeah, they have high school adventures. Oh, and that's where Jin and Noelle meet Carl Clover, who is a kid, who turns crazy later, and fuck.
No, keep going. Don't stop.
So, Ragna is heading to the one city where everything fucking happens, Kagutsuchi.
We are now at the start of Calamity Trigger.
Yes! Alright, so he's gonna go over to the NOL library. He's gonna destroy this thing called the Cauldron. And the Cauldron is basically a giant nuclear reactor, except it's not really nuclear. Because nuclear weapons do exist in the Blazblue universe. It's like a super power source. He gets to fucking Kagutsuchi, and Jin finds out he's going to Kagutsuchi, so he, ignores orders to not chase after Ragna, who has, a $6 billion double dollar bounty on him or something. So then Noelle gets assigned to, hey, we need you to bring back Jin, because we think he's crazy. So she takes on that mission. And then, as soon as Ragna enters Kagutsuchi, he gets assaulted by a cat girl named Taokaka, and he has to feed her because she's really pushy.
Okay.
I think at this point he runs into Carl Clover, and Carl has gone crazy over the years. He's carrying around this one big giant, doll puppet thing, and he keeps referring to it as his sister, so... And then
what is Carl doing, by the way?
Carl is looking for Ragna, right? Because he's a vigilante.
That's right.
Yeah, but Carl doesn't want the money. Carl wants the Blazblue, or he wants the Azure Grimoire. In fact, there's a lot of people who don't really go after Ragna for the money. They're going after his grimoire.
Mm-hmm. And how many people are after Ragna?
Okay, so we've got... Alright, we've got Jin, who just wants to kill Ragna. We've got Noelle, who is after Ragna just by proxy, because he's just a wanted criminal.
Yeah.
We've got several vigilantes going after him. Carl Clover, Taokaka, who just wants the money so she can buy food. We've got Bang Shishigami. No, Bang Shishigami's... He's a ninja from that one city that got blown up, from the Ikaruga, and he holds a grudge against Jin, not Ragna.
That's right. At the same time, though, he is still a vigilante of justice.
So if he runs into Ragna, he's gonna fight him anyways. Fuck it. All right. We've got Sector 7, who I've not mentioned till now, which is basically a whole bunch of people who said, "Fuck this Armiga stuff. We're gonna use science." So a whole bunch of science nerds built this giant muscle man to go capture Ragna. I'm assuming it's for his Azure Grimoire. Alright, can I get back to what I was talking about?
Who is this muscle man?
Oh, his name is Iron Tiger, and he's my favorite. Okay, where was I? Alright, he gets attacked by Carl, and then I think at this point he gets injured, so he has to be taken to Lychee, who happens to be a doctor in the area. And coincidentally, Lychee happened to be a researcher on this thing called the Boundary, which is the thing that humanity discovered 100 years ago that summoned the Genova.
Okay.
Now, the Boundary is basically kind of like the space in between worlds. It's where the Elder Gods hang out.
Right.
And if you peer into the Boundary too long, you go insane. And that's what happened to Lychee's lover. And that's why Lychee is chasing after this black goo monster.
Okay. Named
Arakune.
Right.
Okay, I think I've almost gone through all the characters' names.
Almost. Okay.
Okay, so then Ragnar gets injured, and then he runs off because he's like, okay, no, fuck this, I can't stay here. I need to go blow up the library. And then, he gets there. he fights Jin, because Jin gets there before him. And Jin goes crazy and tries to kill him, and then Ragnar says, no, fuck you, to go fucking sit over there in the corner. And then he goes down to the cauldron, and then suddenly Hakumen, one of the 6 heroes, just randomly shows up and says, fuck you, Ragnar, you are Genova. Ragnar's all like, no, fuck this bullshit, I'ma fight you. But he fights Hakumen, and he realizes, oh shit, Hakumen's the real deal. I can't fucking beat this guy. And then when Hakumen is about to kill Ragnar, he gets warped out of reality, or teleported somewhere else, and then Ragnar's about to blow up the cauldron, and then the cauldron opens up, and then another sword girl appears. And that's New 13. He fights the sword girl, who also looks like Ragnar's sister Saya. Wait, that's wrong. Wait, no, this is right. This is right.
Keep going.
So then he fights New, and he realizes, what the fuck, how come I can't beat New? And then New stabs him and herself with a giant sword, and then they fall into the cauldron, and then it gets revealed that this process needs to happen where the Azure Grimoire combined with a Murakumo unit, aka those sword girls, smelt together and then go back in time and become the Black Beast.
Okay.
And then this process repeats over and over and over and over again. And that's the general premise of Calamity Trigger. Now for the true ending. On the true ending, Ragnar goes through all this bullshit, but Rachel says something and he says, hey, don't give up. And Ragnar's like, I never give up. And Rachel's like, yeah, I know, but this time really don't give up.
Okay.
Because Rachel's like, hey, I'm getting really bored of this rerun. So Ragnar goes down to the cauldron and he gets his run back against Jin. And he gets his run back against Hakumen, except he somehow gains full control of the Blazblue, and then he pushes back Hakumen this time, and then Hakumen gets teleported somewhere else. So then when he fights New, the same shit happens. But right before fighting New, Noelle Vermillion got there, because Noelle was being manipulated by this NOL intelligence officer named Hazama, who needed Noelle to go down and meet the Murakumo unit to realize that she too was a Murakumo unit. So then fucking Noelle goes into robot mode, but then like Noelle gets injured, and then Ragnar comes in to fight New, and then the same shit happens. New gets stabbed, but this time because Noelle is there, Noelle pulls him out of the cauldron as he's falling in, and that stops the time loop.
Pulls Ragnar out of the cauldron?
Yes, he pulls Ragnar out of the cauldron. And then Hazama shows up and says, hey, Noelle, look at me. And Noelle does, and Hazama's all like, ha ha ha, I now exist, because remember that ghost, Yuki Terumi? I'm being possessed by him, and now you, Noelle, the successor of the Azure, no, hold on, that's a later game, shit, you, Noelle, have the power of an observer, which is the same shit Rachel is, but not really, but because Noelle saw Terumi that pulled Terumi out of the boundary? It brought him into existence. And now Ragnar's all like, fuck you, Terumi, I hate you. And Hazama / Terumi is all like, ha ha ha, I'm gonna steal this girl away and use her for a plot in the next game. And that's Calamity Trigger.